we're going to get into our obligatory BTC roundup. And by BTC, I don't mean Bitcoin. I mean Bitcoin Treasury Company roundup for the week. So this week we had Aurora Mobile, which is a NASDAQ-listed company, but Shenzhen-based marketing technology firm, so the Chinese company, has become the latest publicly traded company to embrace crypto as part of its treasury strategy. The company's board has approved a plan to convert up to 20% of its cash and cash equivalents into digital assets, including Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, and Sui. So, typical statement coming out of the board here. The move is aimed at, quote, preserving and enhancing asset value while supporting its strategy to expand market coverage. This is a small player, small fish in the BTC, the Bitcoin Treasury Company grand scheme of things. Aurora only holds about $15.8 million in cash. So if they're allocating 20% to Bitcoin and crypto, that's only like $3 million. Still another entrant to the space.
But also important to point out that this is, unlike most of these BTCs, this is good money that they already have, right? They're not going out to borrow money, issue bonds or anything like that. The money is, I think, a lot more real. I know like Rumble did this as well. I think they did like 20 million last year, and that was from their treasury as well. I consider this to be way less risky, so this company is probably not going to be forced to sell like maybe some others will be if things crash down. So I don't really have a problem with this kind of thing, although I was scratching my head when I saw Sui. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. But yeah, I guess long tail, as long as they keep that to like whatever, 0.5%, 1% of the 20% that they're allocating. No problem with me. Next up, though, we have a bigger player in the space. Metaplanet last week acquired an additional 1,234 Bitcoin, or 1234 Bitcoin. This brought their total up to 12,345 Bitcoin, or 12345 Bitcoin. Metaplanet has done this a lot, as pointed out in Token Narratives by a great follow called Predator. They like to play these kind of like numerology Bitcoin purchase games, marketing, I don't know, whatever it is. And so this was kind of the bigger ones that I've seen.
It's just weird that they have to be cute about this. Like it strikes me as not something like a financially prudent business would do. Like just play with these numbers like this. Why?
You imagine BlackRock doing that, dude?
Yeah. So, okay. Moving on here on the list, we have Melusi is now the largest Bitcoin treasury company in Latin America with its latest purchase. So they added 275.43 Bitcoin for 28.61 million, and their average price is over 100,000, 103.8 thousand per BTC. So they are not doing great on the average acquisition cost, I guess, compared to some of their competitors. I think last I saw MicroStrategy's in the 80s.
Next up, we have Bakkt. They're filing for a 1 billion shelf offering, and they may allocate to Bitcoin. So this crypto platform's Form S3 registration filed June 26 of last week allows it to sell Class A common stock, preferred stock, debt securities, warrants, or units in one or more future offerings. Again, they haven't been very clear with what they're going to buy, but it does seem possible or likely that it will be for Bitcoin. As pointed out or speculated, especially since their business is not doing very well. Look, I'm looking at you, Strategy and Metaplanet. So this can be a way, as we've seen, to supercharge, what did Andre say in Token Narratives? Zombie companies. Yes, yeah. Zombie companies. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, if you look at the S3 registration, they have to disclose certain details about the company. And what I saw in there was that they had lost one big client. Yeah, basically the business is not doing that well. So
buy some Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. Yeah.
Buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bitcoin, if possible.
And on that note, we have this tweet here from vanholm. Sorry, not so good with my Northern European name pronunciations, but Bitcoin. This is a growing sentiment, I guess. And he says, Bitcoin treasury companies are this cycle's shitcoins. VC funding, insider trading, paper Bitcoin, extra layers of risk, all the usual crap, nothing new. You're the yield, not your keys, not your coins, FFS. The usual suspects are behind most of the scams. Follow the money. Basically, he's saying someone is going to be holding the bag at the end of this, and it's probably not going to be the insiders.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think we talked about this 1 month ago. Jordy Alexander, one of my favorite people to follow on X. He's from Steady Lads, the podcast. I interviewed him as well. Awesome guy. And he was talking about this from the game theory side. And he was talking about Sailor, actually. But this applies to all of these BTCs. And just to echo this sentiment, it's a game where, yeah, the smart money is going to make money. And the dumb money, which is most of us, including me, is going to lose money. That's how these kinds of schemes work.
Yeah, so unless you have some edge, you might want to stay away. It was also pointed out to me on another excellent podcast, 1000X, which was, look, if you're on it, if you're like following closely, you might want to get into some of these companies and out the next day. Like get into them as soon as they announce. Quite often the stock pumps, but you don't want to be holding it for very long, the actual company.
I will say that this guy's tweet to me sounds a little, a little inflammatory compared to like Predator, who has been on this for at least 6 months, maybe more than that, like a year. But he's a lot more calm about it. So, for example, he doesn't say like you're going to lose your coins or this kind of thing. He just says it's bad. And so I think maybe you need to disentangle some of the other risks from last cycle that you had with those companies blowing up and then people losing access to their coins. I don't think it's the kind of not your keys, not your coins deal here, because a lot of most of this, all of this is like regulated. I think it's more just like you are the yield kind of thing.
Yeah, well, what's clear though, if you're buying into a Bitcoin treasury company, you're not buying Bitcoin, you're buying the stock of that company.
Yeah, exactly.
So